Nothing says Happy New Year quite like COVID testing and quarantine policies for all-inclusive resorts in Mexico and the Caribbean. And that's what I'm going to be talking about on this episode. I'm going to be going through the major resort brands that we book, including Palladium, Posadas, Blue Diamond, AIC, AM, Sandos, Karisma, Playa, and Atelier. And I'm going to be discussing two primary things. Number one, is the antigen test offered on site at no additional cost? If not, what is the cost of the test? And then number two, what happens when you or your clients test positive while in destination? I'm going to include all the links and sources in the show notes. So of course you can access them yourself. There's a lot to cover. I'm going to try and make it as quick and easy as possible. So let's get into it.
Welcome aboard. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt. The Modern Travel Agent podcast starts now.
This episode is brought to you by Palladium Hotel Group. And for a limited time, TRS Cap Cana is offering this phenomenal promotion where if you book your wedding there by January 31st, then you'll receive 25% discount on any wedding collection. And you might be thinking, okay, hold on, that's the end of this month. That's kind of a quick turnaround time. But here's the beautiful thing. Palladium has created this online calendar that lets you check wedding availability in real time. You don't have to email and wait for a reply. There is no long response time. You can literally go online, check availability, and get everything booked just like that. It's a phenomenal tool. And of course, as agents, we love anything that makes our lives easier. If you want to access the online wedding calendar, you can just click the link below in the show notes. And without further ado, let's get on to the COVID testing policies. So the first thing that I wanted to do is mention that the information that I'm about to discuss is focused specifically on the viral antigen test, not the PCR test. And specifically for those who are traveling back to the United States. Sometimes these resorts have different policies for domestic travelers. So this is specifically for the viral antigen test returning to the United States. All this information is up to date as of January 3rd, 2022. But of course, these things are always subject to change. So I've included all the links and sources and documents below so that you can make sure that you're up to date on everything. First and foremost, I'm sure you're aware, but this past month in December, the CDC did change their guidance. They're now requiring all travelers returning to the United States, whether vaccinated or unvaccinated, to have a test 1 day prior to returning. That's not 24 hours. That's just 1 day. So I know there was some anxiety. People were kind of concerned. What if it's not within 24-hour window? It doesn't have to be. It's literally just the day before you return. And the resorts, of course, have been phenomenal in making sure that they're getting these COVID tests turned around. So first, I wanted to cover Palladium Hotel Group. All reservations made prior to July 31st will receive their COVID antigen test free of charge. For those reservations made after August 1st, if you're staying 7 nights or longer, you will receive your COVID test free of charge. If you're staying 6 nights or shorter, the tests are $25 plus tax in Mexico, $25 plus tax in the Dominican Republic, and $40 plus tax in Jamaica. If you test positive, from now until April 30th, Palladium Hotel Group will offer a complimentary stay for 2 guests for up to 10 days. Posadas is offering free viral antigen tests to all travelers returning to the United States from Mexico. They also offer this opportunity to purchase this insurance, which is like $4 a night. And it enables you that if you come down and test positive for COVID during your stay, you have access to these really inexpensive rates of like $10 per person per night. As for Blue Diamond, for Mexico and the Dominican Republic, the tests are $35 per person. For Jamaica and St. Lucia, they're $40 per person. The Mystique Holbox is $50 per person, and the Mystique St. Lucia is $80 per person. Antigua is $75 per person. Costa Rica is $85 per person, and Grenada is $37 per person. In the event that you test positive in destination, they've implemented these discounted rates, which are about, it varies by destination, but it's about $100 per person per night, for instance, in Mexico. For AIC Hotel Group, basically all reservations of 3 nights or longer will receive 2 viral antigen tests per room. For shorter stays or for more travelers in the room, the test can be purchased ranging from $35 to $50 per person. Those who test positive for COVID-19 will be able to quarantine in their hotels for up to 14 nights at no additional cost. Now for AM, all reservations made prior to November 15th will receive their COVID test free of charge. Reservations made after November 15th, if they're staying in a club level room, the COVID test will be included. If they're not staying in a club room, they'll have to pay. Now, the costs vary, but for instance, it's $35 per person at most destinations, but Jamaica and Costa Rica are $40 and Los Cabos is $50. And of course, a guest staying at a Zoetree property for 3 nights or longer will have their antigen test included. If a guest tests positive while on property, they'll be covered for up to 14 days for quarantine. That's for the traveler and a companion. If there's, let's say, a third person in the room, then they offer discounted rates for that person as well. Those rates vary depending on the brand of the hotel, but the rates are about $99 to $139. That's typically where they fluctuate per person per night. Now, for Sandos, any reservation made prior to November 10th will receive their COVID test free of charge. For reservations made after that time, the COVID test will be $30 per person. Now, for anybody who tests positive at a Sandos property, they'll have 3 nights automatically included for the quarantine. After that, they offer discounted rates. It varies depending on the property, but it's basically $50 to $65 per person per night to quarantine at the hotel after that. That includes 3 meals and non-alcoholic beverages. For Karisma hotels, they offer the viral antigen test for $25 in Mexico, $31 in Jamaica, and $37 in the Dominican Republic. If somebody tests positive at a Karisma property, they're offered discounted rates of 50% off from the rates at the time of travel. And this stay, of course, will last until you get a negative COVID test. It cannot extend past 14 nights. Playa Hotels offers complimentary antigen tests for all stays of 3 nights or longer. For shorter stays, you will have to purchase it on site. The pricing fluctuates, but for instance, in Jamaica, it's $60 per person. And just like Karisma, if you test positive in destination, Playa will offer you discounted rates of 50% off, and that cannot extend past 14 nights. Atelier includes viral antigen tests for all travelers staying 3 nights or more. If you stay shorter than 3 nights, the cost is $15 per person. Now, if you test positive in destination, Atelier will offer a complimentary stay, but the length will depend on the specific action plan of that resort. So you will need to talk with the concierge, but they do say that they will offer a complimentary stay. Again, all these policies are constantly fluctuating and changing. So what I really wanted to do was just to give you an idea of the best information that we currently have available and provide the links and sources to all the information so that you can make sure that you're staying up to date before you give any information to your clients. I hope this was helpful. As always, if you have any questions, just let me know. Hope you have a great one. Happy New Year. Take care.